Hey everyone, and welcome to the first video in my Europe series. Today I'm going to be taking us from Dover in England to Baden in southern Germany. I was traveling with my friend Laura. We did maybe about 2,000 miles in just over a week, and I had literally just bought the motorbike I was riding here, a Husqvarna 701 Supermoto, and the break-in service was literally the day before we left. So this bike was very new to me. It was very fun to travel on. I'll probably talk a bit more about the bike later on. But yeah, let's get started. Day one had us getting up super early from our hotel in Dover, going to the port. We weren't entirely sure if we could filter past the cars and spent a while discussing it.
What are they going to do? That's true, what are they going to do? Like, oh, I don't know, I feel really bad. I would feel like an asshole.
It took ages, but in the end we got to the passport control. Standard motorcycle thing of not having enough places to actually put things and juggling your passport and tickets and everything around. I managed it in the end, but I did drop stuff a few times. Once I'd got through passport control, we were actually redirected into this little building thing, which had me thinking we were, in trouble or something had gone wrong. Turns out they actually just wanted to check we didn't have any weapons by just asking, not actually checking.
All the baggage on the bike belongs to yourself. Any weapons, guns, knives, yes, gas, anyone giving you anything to carry? Through the door, go left. Thank you.
Now, I'm not actually a drug smuggler or a weapons dealer or whatever, but I feel like it would have been pretty easy if I was. Maybe I just didn't look dodgy or something, who knows. So after this, we had to go through security again, and then we were going to our ferry. And a bit of a common theme here, but Laura went the wrong way, and I had to beep at her. Yeah, kind of happened a lot. We spent most of the morning queuing at this point, but luckily they actually waved us past all the cars, and we got onto the ferry really fast. Unlike a car, you actually have to tie motorbikes down. I guess all the waves and stuff might make them fall over. I had absolutely no idea how to do this. On the face of it, it looked kind of simple, like ratchet straps and stuff, but they were very stiff, they wouldn't tighten properly, and then it was done at like an angle, which meant my bike could have just slipped out. I also have a very, very bouncy suspension, or at least a lot of travel on it compared to most other bikes, and I had to do it so tight to make sure it was fully compressed. I was super worried the whole ferry journey I'd come down to seeing my bike falling over, but luckily it was all fine. My GoPro had actually run out of battery, so I'm skipping to the next day where we were riding from Reims in France to Baden in Germany. We started off reasonably early. We did have a bit of a line, but it was quite a long day. Just getting ready to go here. We actually tried having that like Spotify shared session thing going for a while, but it always cut out because someone's data would be broken, but it was kind of cool listening to the same music. France was cool, but the novelty started to actually wear off after a while, so we didn't want to take any motorways, and the problem we had is that it was literally just a straight line through a bunch of farmland, which did look very nice, but the road was not particularly interesting. And then farmland, town, farmland, town, farmland, town, like over and over again. It got a little bit slow after a while, and we were really looking forward to being in Germany. We wanted the mountains and the forests and everything else. Luckily, it didn't take us too long. As I said earlier, this bike was new to me, and this day we had a little bit of a problem. So it doesn't have a fuel gauge, and I wasn't yet familiar with how many miles I could do to a tank, and my fuel light came on quite early in the day, and I had no idea how long it would last, and all of the petrol stations were quite far away, so we were doing the whole like slow speed, highest gear possible, just try and make it last as long as we could. One other really cool thing about Europe is everyone does the little two-fingered wave to other bikers rather than the nod, and honestly I wish we could do this in the UK. I find the nod kind of weird, and the little two-fingered wave is so cool. It took us a while. We finally got to Baden. It was actually pretty cool. Everyone's number plate had bad at the beginning, which I thought was awesome. One thing we didn't quite think of, so we thought we were staying in quite a small town, and it turns out Baden-Baden is bigger than we both anticipated. As well as this, Google Maps doesn't really know how to navigate the center of the city. A lot of it is pedestrianized, but you can also ride on it. It's quite confusing. What you see here, we were allowed to ride on. It just really didn't feel like it at all. Google Maps got incredibly confused. We got very, very lost, and it took us ages to find our Airbnb, which after a long day's riding in the sun is not really what you want. Luckily the city was really pretty though, which is nice. And after all this, we enjoyed a beer and some German food in sort of a nice chill evening, which was awesome. Something else that was pretty cool is there was just like this random concert going on in the middle of the town, which neither of us expected. We didn't really know what was going on either, but still enjoyed it. So yeah, that's it for part 1. In part 2, we're going to be traveling from Baden-Baden to Lucerne in Switzerland and going through the Black Forest, and it was a really nice ride. So I'll see you then.